I'm here again with Tito Ray, and we get to ask him questions because he's generous with his time. So, Tito Ray, ano yung process mo for picking stocks to invest in?
This won't be a short answer.
Okay lang.
Because I think it's dangerous to, in a sense, get advice from YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever other social media. Because there's a big chance that the one talking on YouTube or on Facebook is not playing the same game as you, the viewer. Right? You have at least two games in the stock market. And you have to know which game you're playing. Yes, we're all in the stock market. Yes, you're all in the big sports complex. But some people are playing basketball and some people are playing football or soccer, right? And if you play basketball and you're kicking the ball, that's not going to work. Or if you're picking up the ball all the time while playing soccer, that's not going to work either. This will be an oversimplification, but you have two basic frameworks, or paradigms, points of view. You're either a trader or an investor. Again, it's not as black and white. It's not as yin yang. It's a spectrum. You have subcategories. You have hybrids. But basically trader investor.
Yeah.
The trader short term, basically. Investor long term. But the key question to ask is, how do you plan to make money? The trader makes money by buying something and selling it at a higher price.
Yeah.
So what you're concerned with is price action, right? So you look at, is the stock price going up? Is it going down? What's the volume? What are the trends over the past 20 days, 50 days, whatever? So you're relying on what is called technical analysis, right? This is where you look at all those charts with the candlesticks and graphs and all that stuff, right? In a sense, you don't really care what's happening to the company, its profits. You're just looking at the price action, what people are willing to pay for the stock.
Yeah.
In theory, the company could be going bankrupt, but if there's chismis that Bill Gates will buy the company, the stock price could double, right? Even as the company is going bankrupt. So again, you're looking at the technical analysis. You're looking at price action because you make money by buying and selling at a higher price. An investor, you're looking at the value of the company, right? How much it's worth intrinsically. So you're trying to get at different terms for it, right? Fair value, intrinsic value, and you're trying to buy it at a price cheaper than that. Okay, analogy. You can have, let's say you want to buy a condominium or a house and lot or a second-hand car to make money. Right? Some people will buy a condo at, let's say, 3 million and hope to sell it at 3.5. Or they'll see a second-hand car because their neighbor is migrating to Canada. So they're trying to sell it quickly. So they're selling it at 200. And you know that you can immediately sell it for 225. Right? 12.5% gain in 2 weeks. Gain, you do it. You're trading.
Yeah.
The investor will buy a condo, let's say in New Valley, not because he wants to sell it tomorrow to make a profit. How will he make money? He will rent it out and he expects there to be an escalation in his rental over the years. And he expects the value of the property to go higher, right? Some appreciation because he expects New Valley to blossom more, right? SM is opening later this year. More schools are opening. So SM, people want to live near an SM, so zonal values could go up. Employees will need places to stay, so rents will go up. Schools are opening, so students need a place to live and they'll eat in restaurants. So the value of the property, the zonal value will tend to go up.
Yeah.
And you're getting rent and it's escalating. And you're not planning to sell necessarily, right? So that's how you make money. So same with the investor in the stock market, right? I, in a sense, don't care what will happen to the price of the stock tomorrow. Basically, again, assuming I'm buying the company at a price that is significantly cheaper than the computed fair value or intrinsic value, you're relying on some kind of regression to the mean, not necessarily tomorrow, not necessarily next month, but over time, it will tend to go back to the historical mean, right? So like Ayala Land now is incredibly cheap, right? It's 15 pesos per share. But in terms of like price to earnings, price to book, it's historically cheap. The trader will look at Ayala Land and again, we'll check momentum, we'll see, okay, its price is below the 20-day EMA or whatever and do all the technical stuff and maybe not like it. The fundamentals person might look at that and say, 300 billion peso utang, all that stuff, and ayoko rin, right?
Mm-mm.
So know which kind of person you are. Now, are you a trader? Are you an investor? Once you do, then you listen to people who are playing the same game.
Tama.
Right? But even then, no, don't just take what they say as gospel, di ba? You do your own research, you study, you know all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's imperative that you're playing the same game. So I'm an investor, right?
Okay.
Generally, I would do some quick trades every now and then, but basically I'm a long-term investor. Especially since I trade in the Philippines, dividends are very big here, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're in the States, you're going momentum,
Yeah, growth.
right? Doesn't work here, right? Our index is basically the same as like 13 years ago,
Yeah.
right? But you're getting insane dividends,
Yeah.
right? 5, 6 times more than you'll get in the States. So for me here, the play is dividends because we have a lot of oligarchies, right? You have big families controlling big corporations, and they will want to get dividends.
Yeah.
Right? So from a dividend perspective, I really like Oceana Gold. It's a Canadian company, right? That just recently IPO'd here, and the only way Oceana Gold Philippines can send money back to Canada
It's dividend.
is dividends.
Yeah.
So it functions basically like a real estate investment trust or a REIT. And it pays in dollars.
Yeah.
So gold could go up, could go down, and that will affect the price. But in the long term, it will probably tend to trend upward. But even if it doesn't, so the latest declared dividend was 1 peso 20,
Yeah.
roughly, per share. So that's what, 13+%. Even if the price of gold doesn't go up, even if the price of gold goes down a bit,
Yeah.
I still have a lot of margin eh.
Margin of
So
safety.
let's say the dividend goes down to 10%. Wow. It's so sad. 10, you know what I mean? It's 10%.
Yes.
Then the peso dollar exchange rate, right?
It's weaker.
It an intraday high of I think 63 last week. It could go down to conceivably 59. So again, we never know day to day exactly where it will be, but long term, I'm pretty sure it will hit 65. It's not going back to 50, right? So again, it will tend to.
Trend high.
So, given that, sa akin parang no-brainer si OGP at this point eh.
Yeah.
So at 13% dividends, let's say the risk-free rate is around 7%, right? The 10-year.
Uh-uh.
So 13%, 7%. Enough people will want to buy the 13% because it's significantly higher than the 7. So people will buy this. So the price of OGP will go up. So the yield will go down.
And match.
In a sense, it has to go down, right?
Yeah.
Until, let's say, around 9% yield. Because you need the difference between your risk on investment versus the risk-free rate, right?
Yeah,
Because why would I get 7% each? Doon ako sa risk-free. In a sense, the fair price of OGP should be whatever gives a 9% or 10% dividend yield.
I like that. So parang minamatch mo sila.
It has to,
Yeah.
right? That's why REIT, I used to really love RCR.
Yeah.
And I still do. I think it's a great company. But it's right now giving a lower yield than the 10-year.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for anyone to want to buy RCR right
Yeah.
now.
It's expensive.
Because why am I buying a risky asset and getting a lower yield than the risk-free asset? So, hindi pwedeng 7 si risk-free, 6 si RCR or si AV. Hindi pwede. It doesn't make any sense logically. So, the yield here has to go up. So, the price must go down.
Tama.
So, RCR right now at let's say 7 is not sustainable. It has to go down to something like 6 or 5 something. So that now becomes my fair price for RCR, right? 5 something.
Yeah.
But whatever gives me at least a 1, 2, 3% delta over the risk-free yield, the 10-year. So that's OGP. So that's one way of looking at it. You can look at it from the perspective of dividends. The other stock I really like, because I have 2. If I'm buying 2 stocks, it's these 2. The other one is SGP, right?
Sabi na.
Synergy Grid of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Philippines, we are a young and growing population, right? Certainly compared to, let's say, countries like Japan or Germany. Ibang-iba yung demographic eh. So, energy needs will continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
SGP is flat out a monopoly, right? Because no one else has the grid. And SGP is coming from a situation when it was battered by Congress, by the Senate, because the previous head of the ERC was very antagonistic towards SGP. Because you have the MAR, maximum allowable revenue, you have ways of recovering your capital investment. That was, in a sense, screwed up by the previous head of the ERC. But the new head is okay. So you've had the fourth rate reset, you'll be having the fifth rate reset. So SGP, one, is a monopoly. It will always have demand for its product. And there's basically a built-in mechanism for it to recover capex. So, di ba, whereas another company, whatever company, URC, SM, there's no guarantee you're getting your capex back. Here, you're basically guaranteed to get your capex back. And again, the demand will just keep coming and it will keep growing. So, it cannot not work eh. Barring some force majeure type situation, but it cannot not work. And at the current price of what, 20, I forget how much it is now. I haven't checked since this morning.
25,
25, 26, 24. If it hits 40, I'm still not selling. If it hits 40 today, I'm not selling it. I'm not even tempted. Because it will just keep growing.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm not trying to make money by
Trading.
selling it at a higher price than I bought it at.
So your plan is like to maximize yung potential capital appreciation niya to the extent na maging na viable pa din yung business?
I think business will always be viable, right? At least for the next 8 years. Right? Both SGP and OGP. Because at some point you have franchises needing to be whatever, or the mine will run out. But for both of these, you have at least 8 years of runway. At least, at the earliest, you start thinking about exiting is what, 2034. Di ba?
So ano yung exit conditions ng isang investor?
Pwedeng wala eh. Like, even if Warren Buffett lived 100 years more, he may not sell Coke ever. Why would he?
Okay, guys.
Because, again, he's getting what, a 60% yield on cost on Coke.
Yeah.
Why would he need to sell it? Again, unless there's some situation where, kunyari, he has a chance to buy Nvidia at $20 a share. Kung ganun, I might sell everything I own and just buy Nvidia if it's $20 a share,
okay.
right?
So it's just jumping at yung mga attractive opportunities.
I mean, if you tell me SM is priced at like 120 pesos, I'll literally sell everything I have and buy everything in SM, right?
Yeah.
At 120, God.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure I made it clear in the previous video, no? Because I said buy good companies, diba?
You did.
That's not a taken context free. It's buy good companies at a good price. Because, like, again, the best companies in the world would be Nvidia, Microsoft. But at their prices right now, I don't want to go there. Best companies in the Philippines, stock market wise would be what, ICT.
Yeah.
But at 800, di ba? Baka mahal na masyado eh. So you look for the upside, right?
Upside, yes.
Parang ICT is priced right or maybe even overpriced. SM now I think is cheap. But is it cheap enough to want to buy? I mean, I've put in some, di ba? Because I think it will be a good dividend grower.
Dividend growth.
The CAGR. The yield is not that big right now, but the dividend growth. And it still has room to grow more. So, yeah, it's my dividend growth company.
Okay, ang dami natin nakuha.
Okay, lunch break.